You didn't 10 minutes ago.
How's it, everybody? This is Julius. Another story time with Julius. I've been working on a book for the last, I want to say 10 years. It's called Raising Killers. So I'm putting a lot of, personal struggles and personal achievements in this book. It has a lot to do with my kids and my wife and my family. I love where this book takes you. I started it because when I was young, and me and my wife were young, and we were kind of trying to navigate how raising children would be. There wasn't a lot of books out there for me. I did read a lot of books, but they were all kind of like the straight and narrow books, and I wanted more mindset and exactly what the title is, Raising Killers. That's how my dad taught me to be, and that's how I feel like you should always be capable of being dangerous without ever having to use it, right? Or just learning how to control it. And I love that part. So yeah, when it comes out, I'll definitely tell you guys. I'm here with my wife. She doesn't want to be on camera, that's okay. But she's gonna jump in every now and then. And then yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun, raising kids. And me and my wife, we started like when we were young. I was 23 and she was 20. And she was pregnant with our first son, Braven, at 20. And it's been a lot of fun ever since. Yeah, babe?
Absolutely. If you call it fun.
Yeah, we were just young, just having fun. And yeah, I didn't know how to be a dad. I didn't know how to be, but I wanted to be the best at it. That's one thing I wanted to do. When we had our first son, yeah, I did everything a someone dad would do, right? I would spank my kid, hey, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Mm-hmm. And it was rough, because so I read a lot. I read the book, some books, and I was like, man, it doesn't tell me anything about my kid. It just tells me, what everybody else is doing, that, a lot of cookie cutter stuff that I don't like. I don't like cookie cutter kids. Yeah. And so, I just kind of grabbed a lot of things, and I went from there. One of the greatest things that I always say to this day that helped me a lot was I kind of fell into the social work career, and I found a lot of methods that I kind of use. When I dealt with clients, like a lot of methods I used to, maladaptive behavior. It was a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy. And so, I felt like, man, I could use this on my kids a lot, and I could get them to kind of do what I want them to do, versus them being rebellious. Like every parenting, mom and dad that they run into that a lot, right? Their kid, they want their kid to be this, but they don't know how to get there. And so that's why I kind of wrote a book about how to get there. I'm not done with it because I really want to really work on it a little bit more and have it really polished before I put it out. You want to say anything about that?
About
anything?
The kids?
Yeah.
No, it's just been a ride, right? And we've learned through the process of how we both had to learn to be parents and to navigate compromise through the process of 20 plus years. Even till today, there's compromise, but I think in the end, through the process, we knew we had the best intentions in mind, and watching where the kids are going now and what they're doing and the relationships we've built. I mean, I can't say enough of how proud I am of them and how this process has been with you and with them.
Right. Recently, we just had our daughter. She got recognized as Player of the Year in her Division AA girls volleyball for ILH, which is really big. I mean, we thought she'd just be on first team selection for All Stars, but we were surprised when it was like Player of the Year, which is really amazing. High school's a tough time to navigate, your adolescent kids. And
I think it's different with girls, right?
Absolutely different. With the boys, I have two older boys, Braven and Noah. Braven in high school, he went through 3 different high schools. We liked them at St. Louis. St. Louis was like a really good school for him. We enjoyed it. Another one, he went over to Moanalua Public School, and the opportunities he was able to receive at both there, and then he eventually ended up at Punahou. He got second place in JRTC competition across the state, and he didn't achieve that by just he worked hard at this. The St. Louis program, they offered the Ranger program, which he was in. He earned that spot over there, and God bless the St. Louis athletics for helping him out. And now, he eventually got him and his team at Punahou, they got the second place finish at JRTC, which was big. And then we had our second son, Khalid Noah, that played soccer with the Division I ILH soccer. They ended up winning states with Noah in 2020, which was such a big high to win states. It's not easy here. There's like a lot of competition, a lot of good players, a lot of good mentoring, and man, just to achieve that is amazing. So just our daughter getting Player of the Year was wow, it's such a big accomplishment, and super proud of her, super proud of what she's been able to do and accomplish in the in the time frame. Raising her has definitely not been easy, because there's a lot of politics in volleyball. There's not a lot of politics in when the boys were playing sports and stuff like that. There weren't a lot of politics in soccer, but man, in volleyball there's definitely a lot of a lot of politics that you gotta navigate. So, you want to say something?
No, it's just different when you're dealing with different sports.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. So you see it a lot, and man, for her to achieve what she's able to achieve, I'm really proud of her.
I think it comes down to her coaches. We've seen her through the process all these years, and it just takes a coach to believe in her and to see her through and let her be who she is, to let her light shine, right? That's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
This last season.
Yeah. When she was young, Bella was into soccer, and she started at a young age. We started all our kids at a young age when it came to soccer and sports, because we felt the social aspect of being in sports is super important. especially when you're trying to achieve an um, overall, human, right? When it comes to like sports, academics, beliefs, mentoring, associations. So yeah, when she was young, she started at 5 playing soccer. When we got to about, I want to say 8 or 9, the sport really picked up when it came to soccer. And it wasn't that she was couldn't like handle it. It was that it was intense. Yeah. And I didn't want her to burn out so early on. I used to coach varsity girls and varsity boys, and in the private and public sector, and I see a lot of burnout, especially with girls, right? Because they're pushed early on, and by the time they're 15, 16, they don't want to play no more, right? And nobody's gonna make them play because girls are gonna be girls, man. And so I saw that when I was coaching the varsity girls. I saw how like if you get pushed too hard, they're gonna rebel. They're gonna withdraw, especially because they're much older now, and they're much wiser, right? And so when Bella was around 9 or 8 or 9, we said, you know what? Just let her be a kid. It's too intense. The training's kind of hard, and they're asking a lot of her. And that's when we pulled her out of just soccer. Let her be a kid. We took her on trips a lot, and when we felt it was about the time to come back into the sport, we asked her, like, do you want to come back to soccer? And she's really good at soccer, don't get me wrong. She's really good at soccer. She has good footwork. I think that's why we really liked the soccer in the beginning, as far as like a base sport, right? You always need a base sport. My base sport was baseball, and Bella's base sport was soccer. Now we asked her, like, hey, there's a lot of running in soccer, but your footwork's great. And so we had her like try out for like the boys team about her age, and she was good as far as her intelligence. Her IQ was there, but she wasn't as fast as the boys, and so that made it difficult. And then she did play volleyball early on, and we said, hey, do you want to just put all your eggs in one basket, and let's just go for it? So it's either soccer or volleyball, and she picked volleyball reluctantly because she loves soccer, and she trained ever since I think it was 13.
I think so.
Yeah, she was about 13 years old when she started volleyball again, and it was tough because like now you can really see the difference, right? It wasn't that she wouldn't be able to catch up. It was just going to take some time, and a lot of the girls were good at 13, right? Because they've been playing ever since, right? 9, 10, 11, 12. Bella's been out of the game, and here she's coming back at 13, trying to catch up in that amount of time. And she wasn't going to give up. She had good footwork, so she was able to like I always think it's important to take that first step to getting to any ball or just movement. She always had a good first step, right? And that's what soccer helps you learn. That taking that first step to get to that ball, it's super important.
Yeah, I do remember that. Soccer was definitely helped her through the process. She definitely realized she didn't like running at that point, so volleyball definitely fit what she wanted. less running, right?
Less running for sure. Yeah, we even tried her in gymnastics, but she was super young, And then like her growth chart was saying like, oh yeah, she's gonna be like 5'9", 5'10", and we're like, whoa.
That's not gonna work for
Well,
her.
gymnastics is not gonna work right now. We took her out of gymnastics because we're like, oh, we better focus on like soccer and volleyball. Since she's gonna be like her, her growth chart was gonna be, she's tall. She's definitely taller than her middle brother.
They're about the same.
And so that's a lot of fun. Yeah, and then throughout the years, her from 13 on, she just really dug in. She really dug into like volleyball, and I could see that she took on volleyball like it was her work, right? From 13, 14, 15, 16, oh man, even now, those years she would put like, we'd put her in clinics, and we'd put her in like, they have like a libero clinic, they'd have a hitting clinic, they'd have a workouts, weights, and she would do it like she was like this is her job, comparable to like a D1 schedule, right? She would be like doing this.
Well, she never complained
relentless.
about it, right? Yep.
Yeah, and she loved it, right? Sometimes she, you could tell like she didn't like it, but the attitude's coming off, but she kept at it. She's not gonna quit. And I feel like it's because those early years we took her out of sports, that when you reintroduce it, man, she just took off. And now she's like, man, this past season, this past school season, for her she played every single game, and she went undefeated. She went undefeated, and she played every single game, and she was in the 6th rotation, and she was not tired, and she did not want to come out, at all. I mean, there was a couple times I saw Coach get up and say, "Hey, you good? You want to come out for a minute? You took a big spill, you can come out." And she was like, "Nah, Coach, I'm good." And it's just a testament to like like the person she's built, through the right mentoring, through the right training, and super proud of her,
But that all didn't come easy, right? She's had those years of trials and tribulations of trying to find herself, trying to find the right fit as far as who would support her and who would mentor her as a coach in the right way. So of course everything was a learning experience for all of us, and so I think those hard times and those times of finding herself in those years has helped to lead up to where she is now, right? I mean, hardships build, right? And that's what she is. She's become stronger for it, and she is who she is.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm definitely biased because I'm a guy, so like I like guy coaches, and there were some times where like when she was younger and she was playing for some female coaches that man, I didn't understand like what the dynamics, because I'm not a volleyball coach, right? But watching from the sidelines, I'm watching like how the dynamic is playing out on the court, and I'm like, wow, why are you taking her out? She made one mistake, and then coach would be like, no, and I'm like, what? But I'm coming from a guy's perspective, and it kind of baffles me a little bit, There was one time like, I couldn't understand, like it was happening. It was a tournament, and it was just ongoing, and one of the coaches just kept like taking her out of the game, right? I don't know, to try to like, I guess like instill some kind of like, like, oh, you gotta do better, like as if she's not doing better already, right? And I kind of understand that part about coaching, but like at the end of it, I was like, man, I was tired of it, man. So I was like, hey, Bella, grab your stuff, let's get out of here, because I don't like the way that coach was teaching, like was kind of handling you. And so, I definitely, provide her with that attitude of like, man, like don't ever sell yourself short. Like you're built to be a champion. That's how we go about, everything, right? We look at everything and we say, hey man, like there's no reason for that coach to take you out. And at the end of it, you know what? I'm the dad, so I'm like, man, I'm watching this and I don't like it. I'm like, hey, get your stuff, let's go. You know what? They got a couple more games to go, man. Let them do it on their own, because I don't want to do it with them. Because it just frustrates me being on the sideline, watching, my daughter cry, over little stuff. And it's like, man, when it came to like boys sports, like you don't see that, right? You just see boys like just like, hey, coach says something, all right. Other boys say, hey man, they reaffirm it, and man, we attack it together. We're not trying to hurt each other, by taking each other out of the game or like saying stuff that, I don't know what was said and stuff, but for my daughter to cry, I had enough. I'm good.
I think you have to look back and say that it was more than one time. It wasn't just that one time, and you let it play out, right? You let it. It wasn't that you took her out right away, and you have to clarify that it was an ongoing thing that kept happening over and over again. And we did tell her to fight through it,
we did.
And that's something that's important, is you don't just give up. You got to fight through it. You got to figure it out. But at the end of the day, when our kid's mental health is in jeopardy and her spirit is broken time and time again, that, hey, that's more important. Like, it's time. And you made that call as her dad, as her parent, to be like, all right, she can't do this anymore. It's too much. And that's where that led to.
No, that's very true. Yeah, and I want to drive that point home. It wasn't just that one time in that one tournament that this was going on. It's just a multitude of times that I had enough. I was just like, there's no reason to keep like, beating a dead dog, man. And that's what it seemed like. It just seemed like, man, like every little mistake.
Yeah, and you guys.
And they were just crushing her spirit.
Yeah, and it took the right steps, right? It was her talking to coaches. It was not us trying to intervene at that point. It was, she had to own it at 13, 14 years old or whatever it was. She was still young, but these athletes have to own it too,
absolutely,
right? And so that's what we allowed her to do, is you own it. You got to figure it out, toughen up, Cookie. Yeah,
and that's true. Like what? We're always going to look at both sides as parents, and we always did. We always have. And that was one of the things, is like, okay, she tried, right? My daughter would try, and obviously she didn't get through because we're still seeing it in the game. So I would go and say, hey, coach, can I have a moment with you? Can I tell you what I see and what's not like, like it's not beneficial. It's not gonna be good for Bella, right? Because this is how Bella learns. And that's one thing we did early on. We know how Bella learns. We know how Bella, receives information. So we're not just gonna blow up over one thing, right? We're gonna kind of like, okay, let's try this, and then eventually I'm gonna try. I'm gonna say, hey, coach, let's have a sit down. Let's find out what's going on. We've done this with all our kids, right? We let them kind of like handle it at their level, right? They talk to the coach, see what's up, right? Advocate for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And then we're still seeing the same thing. That means, you know what, coach doesn't see it your way. Okay, coach, hey, can you see it from me, right? This is what I see, coach, being on the sidelines, watching it from my kids. And I don't, you know, I usually don't get mad at games, right? But then when it's too much, man, I know that kid, that's my kid, man. So like, we're gone, you know? And so, but I'll talk. I say, hey, coach, let's have a sit down. Let's kind of look at this from all different angles, and this is what I see, and this is what I want to happen, man. And this is how Bella learns, and this is how she takes stuff in. Are we on the same page? Coach says yeah, and for the first couple of weeks or months, it works, and then next thing you know, we're reverting back to like, you know, and that kind of thing, it gets me, man, right? And so, but yeah, I love the fact, you know, that everything that we've been doing for the past, you know, for her entire life has finally, you know, like, for her to achieve Player of the Year is such a big moment, because I feel like high school is such a big deal that is going to follow you around forever, right? Sometimes college, you go to college and, you know, you meet friends and you do things in college, and it's great. But it's nothing like high school, man. High school, things, people, friends, everything stays with you, you know? And that's the one thing about high school, man. You make it memorable, or, you know, or you can become memorable, you know? Jazz, you want to close?
Yeah, no. So it's just celebrating our daughter and just really thinking about all the hardships she's been through and the learning experiences she's had, and to be where she is and with the people that have loved and supported her, and to see where she's at today. Yeah, it's been amazing, and we're just here for the ride and continue to support her and just love on her. And yeah, we just got a couple more months with her, and then she's off to college.
Off to college. It's crazy.
Yeah. Then we'll be empty nesters. What's next?
Well, this will be our third one in college. Yeah. It's unreal. It's been a ride. And man, I wanted to slow down just a little bit. But we love you, Bella.